Hey Facebook, hi YouTubers. Thank you so much for tuning in today to let me talk to you about how to come to Canada as a automotive service technician. Quite a few of you have used our services to come here as a automotive service technician, and some of you have had a few challenges in doing so, especially when it comes to applying through different provinces. So we're gonna talk a little bit about that today. So first, I just want to share with you what the government considers as a automotive service technician, and just talk about the basic duties that is required for this occupation. So automotive service technician NOT code is 7321. So automotive service technician's NOT code is 7321. So you can always go on Job Bank and check out wage trend analysis, or you can Google NOT code 7321, and you'll also see the requirements, what the government considers as job duties for this profession, wage analysis across Canada, what is the wage expectancy for this occupation. So let's just quickly discuss briefly the duties of a automotive service technician. So automotive service technician performs preventative maintenance, diagnosis faulty operations, and repair automotive vehicles and light duty vehicles. Automotive service technician adjusts, tests, and repair engines, steering systems, brake systems, drivetrains, vehicle suspensions, electrical systems, and air conditioning systems. They do wheel alignments, and they do large shop repair, specializing, rebuilding, and servicing specific parts. Automotive service technicians begin by reading the work order and examining the vehicle to locate the cause of faulty operations, and then they repair it. Testing equipment, talking with customers, oil changes, tune-ups, advise customers on work performed, and the condition of vehicles in the future. So yes, so if you are a mechanic in Vancouver, BC, or England, or Dubai, or Kuwait, or the Philippines, it's pretty much the same all across the board. So here at Allison Jones Consulting Services, we have employed many mechanics over the years, and through our efforts, we have learned what each province requires. So in Canada, for the trades, there is compulsory trades, and then there's non-compulsory. So let's break down and discuss what these mean for the trade automotive service technician. Trade certifications for automotive service technician is compulsory in Nova Scotia, Prince Edward Island, New Brunswick, Quebec, Ontario, and Alberta, and available but voluntary in Newfoundland, Labrador, Manitoba, Saskatchewan, British Columbia, Yukon, Northwest Territories, and Nunavut. So what does this mean, compulsory? So the word compulsory means to abide by, required to by law or authority. Now, why are some provinces compulsory and others aren't? So the provinces that have deemed automotive service technician as a compulsory trade, they have certain specifications that you need to have in order to obtain this certification in the trade to work in that province. Each compulsory province has different requirements, and we'll touch base on that a little bit later on. But for the trade automotive service technician in the provinces that are compulsory, you must follow the guidelines to work in that province under that specific trade occupation. You need to meet the criteria of the province you wish to go to and work. So if your dream is to come to Canada and you've done your research on Canada and you want to go live in Prince Edward Island, let's say, or you want to go live in Ontario and work there as an automotive service technician because you have family there, well, they have the different regulations. So how can you do your due diligence? Well, we can tell you here today the basic requirements that these provinces look for all across, and also more specified for when you have to apply through that trade body to come here. So the hours of work experience needed for each compulsory province is, so for Nova Scotia, 7,200, PEI, also known as Prince Edward Island, 7,200, New Brunswick, 7,200, Quebec, 6,000, Ontario, 7,220, Alberta, 9,000 hours. So what these provinces need to make sure is that you have the hours of what a Canadian apprentice is expected to have. So you need to prove to these provincial trade bodies that you have the equivalent hours of a Canadian apprentice. So when you come to Canada and you get that approval letter, you can go in, write the exam, and also do a practical, which will then give you your journeyman license in that province to work in that province, okay? So once you figure out that, oh wow, I've worked as a mechanic for 10 years, no problem. I can easily prove that I have the above and beyond hours of an apprenticeship. I want to go through with this. Or even if you have 5 years work experience and you want to come here and work and do the pre-assessment, then what happens is, as soon as you do that pre-assessment, you get an approval letter. When you get to Canada, you contact the trade body of what province you have applied to come here that is compulsory for the trade automotive service technician, and you have anywhere from 6 months to 12 months to write your theory exam and then do your practical exam, okay? So let's say you write your theory exam and your practical exam and you fail. If you fail, you have to wait 30 days probationary. Then you can go back and you can try again. If you fail twice, what happens is the work permit you've came here on, you will no longer be allowed to work in that trade once you've been here the 12 months. And that's something that we can touch base on later on. What if I want to continue my career path as a mechanic outside of a province that has compulsory restrictions? Well, here at AJ Group, our recruiters will send out to the applicant a practice theory exam. To any applicant who is applying to come to Canada as a automotive service technician in a non-compulsory province. This will show recruiters your basic knowledge, your basic understanding of how to fix a vehicle or your mechanical abilities, knowledge. We will look at your education, your work experience, and reach out to references to verify your work history. Minimum work experience of 5 years to get recognized by our company. We like to see multi-brand experience. However, if you are specialized in a brand such as Dodge, Ford, Mazda, Toyota, anything like that, that's okay. We'd still love to hear from you, so please reach out. We also look for IELTS and WES. This will be required from us, or if you are applying to any of the compulsory provinces. Everybody wants it, everybody's asking for it, even if you go through, you know, a regulated trade body like Alberta or Ontario or Prince Edward Island, let's say. We like to ask for it, and also for immigration purposes. So it's really, really good to be, I guess, aware that this is a requirement. I know a lot of applicants, even who aren't automotive service technicians, but are planning to come to Canada as a food service supervisor or a retail store supervisor or an executive housekeeper. These are all mandatory, okay? Working as a mechanic, you are in the front lines just like your service reps. You communicate with your team and customers on maintenance issues and giving them advice for when they come back. So speaking, reading, writing is an essential part of your occupation here in Canada. So verifying your knowledge in English is key. Band score 4.5 and higher is required. If your English needs improving, we recommend studying prior to taking the exam. IELTS exam. So IELTS stands for International English Language Testing System. If you've never heard of IELTS, you can just Google IELTS, okay? IELTS exam. IELTS exams can be difficult for some. IELTS gives you an overall score between 1 and 10. 1 being me speak no English, and 10 being a major at Harvard University. I don't even think I would be able to get a 10. I'd probably get a solid 8. Maybe a 10 in talking, but probably a 5 in listening. Next, also again, very important, just as important of IELTS, is WES. So WES stands for Worldwide Education Services. And what they do is they take your high school, any university, any college, and they make it into a Canadian grade level, okay? So what we've seen with Ontario trades is high school is usually required, but they also look for applicants who've gone to any polytechnic schooling for their trade. So we see it all the time across Canada, and we see it all the time globally that people, individuals do go through a polytechnic college before they start their apprenticeship in this trade. So WES will assess any secondary or polytechnic schooling you have completed it and transfer the skills to a Canadian equivalent. When you fill out a trade assessment form, they will ask you for your WES. So this is also very important, especially in the province of Ontario, as the trade association will request this info from WES. So WES is in Ontario. So we've seen a lot of our applicants who have taken the time to do the Ontario Trades Assessment. Thank you so much. We are very grateful that you trusted us through that. It can be challenging, but if you listen to this video and take the steps, it will be much smoother. So thank you so much for the individuals who did take the time to do that and who will be here soon enough. So trade assessment forms require these specific documents and letters. Reference letters. I cannot say this any more enthusiastically as this because I need to keep it quiet, but reference letters from your previous employers. But yes, so if you are planning to come to Canada, it is crucial that you notify past employers that you are applying to come here, because the reference that you will be giving to the college, they will be calling them to verify that you've worked the number of hours needed to work in that province. So this is what, just basic, a cover letter, okay? So it has the company's logo and then it has the company's information at the bottom. That is a reference letter, and it has to be on letterhead. So these letters must give a detailed summary of your job duties at the time frame you worked there. Again, this letter must be on letterhead. A detailed letter from your current employer about your job duties and length of employment. Again, on letterhead. Any vehicle certificates you are awarded, from brand experience to classes you've taken. So any specialty classes, I know with a lot of brand vehicles, you get like certified for doing their suspensions or certain brands. Same thing here. And then a notarized ID. This can be your driver's license or your passport, so you go get your ID notarized. Passport photo, passport, driver's license. So the reason why you need to have a driver's license is part of being a mechanic is not just fixing vehicles, but also driving vehicles to see how it sounds, driving the vehicle into the shop, so forth. So you need a driver's license, WES, and IELTS. Once you complete your trades assessment application and submit it to the compulsory province of your choice, you will pay a fee upon submission. Each province has different fees and different processing times, usually taking anywhere between 4 weeks to 20. Yes, we've had, it's usually around 14 weeks, so just over 3 months, but sometimes it can take longer. Like, for instance, we just had a pandemic and you never know, right? Once you have been assessed and you have received an invitation to challenge your provincial exam, the Canadian apprentice, so you'll be invited to take the challenge exam at the provincial level of the same as a resident Canadian who is apprentice, who just got the exact same hours. They'd go take it. So you take the exact same test to get your certificate as a journeyman in that province. So the tests are hands-on, so practical, and theory. Each province has their own testing system, so they do differ. They do have reading material on the provincial site that you wish to go to. So again, I'm going to reference to Ontario Trades. They have a prep guide on their website. Same with Alberta Institute of Trade. They have a prep and a list of requirements that you need. Every other province has their own testing system. When you decide on a location to migrate to, you'll be able to see their specific requirements on their website and what their exams look like. So it's really awesome to be an automotive service technician, because here in Canada there's a lot of great benefits. For instance, the wage spectrum varies from $25 an hour to $45 an hour. Once you become a licensed journeyman here in Canada, you can then challenge the exam once you've been here for a while, and then become a red seal. Let's say you come here onto your work permit, you get your permanent residency, and then you want to further your certification and become a red seal, which is really great. Red Seal automotive service technicians will make the higher wage. Again, anybody can apply to become a Red Seal technician once in Canada, but also the benefits of giving back to Canadians and helping that aspiring mechanic here in Canada, right, as a journeyman, but also as a Red Seal. Okay, well, that wraps it up, everybody. Again, thank you so much for tuning in and listening today. We hope everybody is staying safe and healthy. We encourage you to click subscribe, follow, and share us to your loved ones and friends in case they are thinking about coming to Canada as a automotive service technician. And yes, stay tuned for more videos in the coming weeks. My name is Emily, and thank you so much.